And then they'll make the statement that even Jews today admit that the calendar they use is not the scriptural calendar. And they leave it as that. Well, let me respond, because I'm sure they've never asked a Jew this question. First of all, friends, to get a complete picture, you have to understand what we Jews hold as our basis for belief. And you also have to understand who the Torah authorized to give us a proper practical understanding for the commands within it. Because you'd probably be surprised to learn that the Torah never instructed man to just pick up a Chumash and try to decipher ceremonial laws for themselves like these hooligans are trying to do. In other words, the Torah knew that in terms of ceremony, that if everyone did what they saw fit, what would happen is that you would have thousands of denominations all condemning each other as incorrect, all claiming that they know better, ultimately destroying the unity we're supposed to have as a group. Which is why the Torah stated that Moses should appoint 70 judges, 71 with himself, who would rule and decide how to apply Torah ceremonial laws for the sake of unity. As a matter of fact, the text states that by not adhering to their rulings, we would be sinning against God himself. Actually, can you imagine what would have happened in biblical Israel every month if every citizen was attempting to spot the sliver of the new moon for themselves? Right? Some would say that they saw it, and others would say that they didn't. Who's to tell? No, my friends, the process was one that was adjudicated by this ruling body of judges known as the Beit Din HaGadol, or the Sanhedrin, the Great Sanhedrin. And this is why biblical Israel always instituted the new month with witnesses and judges. So it's not a lunar Sabbath cult invention, my friends. No, friends, the problem actually arose that once Israel was exiled from the land, they did not have a unified body ruling on the new moon. Not to mention that communications did not exist like today. So this court of Torah-ordained judges, including Hillel II, who was one of these judges, decided that they would compile a systematic yearly calendar based on calculations rather than the actual moon. Why? Because neither did the Sanhedrin nor the priesthood have access to the Temple Mount anymore. So in other words, there's no malicious intent here like these individuals claim that Jews have been doing for hundreds of years. In other words, friends, according to the Torah itself, you, all of us, we must be adhering to the rulings of this court. A command that virtually all in the Karaite camp and also in the Lunar Sabbath camp have completely abandoned. A commandment that they completely toss away. And also, you have to know that adhering to, in Torah terms, never meant to follow blindly. How? Because the Torah also commands us not to follow the majority to do evil. And I would also like to mention that till today, there is no historical proof ever found to assume that this court ever became corrupted. None, no proof at all. Not that we would need proof. I mean, if these individuals are only relevant to the Jewish people for their rulings, then one just has to examine their rulings for scriptural integrity to see if they were corrupt or not. And in retrospect, we see that this was not the case. Actually, it was this court that kept the unity amongst the Jewish people alive. And again, this was all done with the intention of returning to the complete lunar monthly calendar when the Sanhedrin, the priesthood, and the temple would be reestablished. And again, new moons never played a role in determining Sabbaths. And I think we've proven that with this video.